Hey, my name is Chad Pritchard, and these are tips on how to make the best fried chicken sandwiches. I got my buddy Barrett here, my son. He's going to help me out today, huh, bud?
Yeah, I love fried chicken.
You love fried chicken. So these are the tips on how to make the best fried chicken sandwich. So first thing you got to do is you got to pick the right chicken. For a fried chicken sandwich, I love boneless, skinless chicken thighs, not the chicken breast. The thigh has better flavor, it's juicier, and it's just an all-around better cut of meat. Breasts have a tendency to get dry out, and they have a tendency to be kind of fibrous. And so I like to go with the boneless, skinless thigh. If you like breast meat, go ahead and get it, but we're using thigh meat today. So what do you like? You like it too? Good. So we're gonna put on our gloves. You put some gloves on? All right, so first thing we do with our chicken is we're gonna season it up. I use a mix that we make with salt and paprika and some cayenne pepper. It's kind of a Cajun mix. You can use whatever seasoning you want. Salt, pepper, garlic, all that stuff's in here. Hey, buddy, you gotta make sure you let me know when you're gonna be around so I don't hit you in the head. All right, so we're good and seasoned at this point. You want to season that little spot right there? Good job. All right. Once you get your chicken seasoned on both sides, you go to the dry, wet, dry setup. We've got cornstarch here. I use cornstarch rather than flour for the first dry because it adds a little bit of crispiness to it. You could do cornstarch and flour. You could do just flour. You could do breadcrumbs. Whatever you want to do, make sure it's dry, wet, dry. Sometimes I'll just do flour, egg, and flour, or flour, whatever. So the first one we're doing cornstarch. So we're going to get all of our chicken in and put it in cornstarch. All right. And then I have an egg, water, and hot sauce bath here that I'm going to let these guys soak in for a minute. And this is the wet part of it. It adds a little bit of flavor, but also it's going to allow our next dry substrate to stick to it. You can use flour for this. You can use breadcrumbs. You can use cornflakes. I'm using Elvis Presley's favorite, potato chips. That's right, bud. We're going to do potato chips. So here's our first one, ready to go. We have it set. It's good and breaded. So our next one. So once your chicken is nice and breaded, you're going to want to let it sit for a few minutes. So we're going to let this sit for about 4 minutes, and then we'll come right back. All right, so we have our oil here. It's at 350 degrees. We're using just a canola oil blend for frying. You could use whatever oil you want, peanut oil, just vegetable oil, whatever you want. I would try to stay away from things like extra virgin olive oil or oils that have very strong flavors because you don't want them to flavor your chicken. But also, they're very expensive, and you don't use them to cook like this. You use them to kind of finish stuff with. So I wouldn't fry this in extra virgin olive oil or something like that, or even like sesame oil. But this goes great with what we're doing. So our oil is at 350 degrees, and we're just going to put our chicken thighs in. And it should be not a huge rolling boil when you start to fry. It should be bubbling, but it shouldn't be super. It shouldn't fizz up or do anything like that. You have your oil too hot at that point. So we're just kind of draping the oil, the chicken in. We're not dropping it in. I'm taking it in very gently, and I'm just kind of dropping it. Because what I don't want to do is make so that the oil comes up over the top of the pan. So we're going to fry this for about 6 to 7 minutes, and then we're going to take it out and let it rest on our tray. Now, what we do have is a tray that we've lined with some brown paper. That's going to help wick away some of the oil, and we'll get it drained for our bread. It looks like our chicken is just about done. You can see it's starting to get some better browning on the edges. It's starting to float. Usually this chicken, as it starts to float, you know that's when it's done. That's a good indication of it being done when it floats to the top. You can take a thermometer if you have one, and you can you can take the temperature of it at the thickest part. It should read to be about 155 degrees. When it's 155 degrees, you want to pull it out and let it sit. This has been going long enough that I know, and I've been doing it long enough that I know this is about 155 degrees right now. So I'm going to pull this guy out, these guys out, and I'm going to let them sit and drain on our brown paper bag here. And what that's going to do is it's going to do two things. It's going to continue to cook on the inside as it sits there. It's going to continue to cook and go up to 165 degrees on the inside. And it's going to allow the juices to kind of redistribute back into the chicken, so you end up with a nice piece of juicy chicken, which is what you're looking for. All right, Bear, when we're making a chicken sandwich, what's important to go on it?
Sauce.
A sauce. So we're going to make one, okay?
Okay.
We're going to make a few. We're going to have 3 different sauces. I've already made a couple, but this is one that I really like the best. It's one of my favorites. It's a spicy mayo, spicy aioli, whatever you want to call it. We're going to start with mayonnaise. You can make your own. You can buy some. We've just got some that we have already in the kitchen. Use your favorite hot sauce. I like Frank's Red Hot, so I'm putting that in there, and I use a good amount, right? I'm also going to add some of that seasoning that we had, a little bit of that seasoning, and then here's something that you kind of want. I add a little bit of pickle juice to it, just a touch, not too much, because you're going to give some of that bite that you like. It's going to kind of eat through some of the fattiness and richness of the mayonnaise, and just gives it a nice all-around good flavor. So we're mixing up our sauce. It's going to be quite a bit looser than like regular mayonnaise, because you've added a bunch of liquid to it. So you've got all this stuff in here, and once you get your sauce done, this is going to go right onto your bun. So we'll get the buns out, and we'll get all of our sauces ready, and we'll get our sandwiches put together. All right, so when you're doing your sandwich, bread's important. We have a couple different types of bread. We're going to start off with a ciabatta bread. I really like the ciabatta bread. It's soft, but it's got some good chew to it, and it holds up really, really well to the chicken sandwich. So I'm going to use pesto mayo that I made earlier. It's just pesto sauce and mayonnaise, a little bit of garlic, and I'm going to put a nice, good amount of pesto mayo on that. You want to have enough. You like pesto mayo?
Yeah. At oregano, we would have it with our fries.
Yeah, it's really good with fries, isn't it? So we're going to take that and stick it right on like that. I'm going to take another little helping of it on top just to kind of help keep the bun on it. And then you want to add, you don't want to put too much stuff onto this. So your pesto mayo is your sauce. I'm going to add something pickled. I'm adding banana peppers onto this one. You want to have a pickled element to your sandwich. That vinegar and that pickling helps break through the fattiness and the richness of the sandwich. So that's your first sandwich. It's more of an Italian style. You like that one?
Yeah, it
Looks good? Good. So we're going to do the next one. I have a spicy kind of Asian style sauce that I'm going to put on. And with this one, I'm going to put banana peppers, and I'm going to put some pickles on it. It's the sweetness of the banana peppers, the tartness of the dill pickle. It's going to be really great. And I like this one, again, with the ciabatta bun. And then finally, I like to use the sesame seed bun on this one. This one's going to have my spicy mayo up and down. My sandwich, and just a few pickles on this one.
That one also looks good.
That one also looks good, right? These are my 3 sandwiches that I've made with the same chicken. Just remember, season your chicken thighs, dry, wet, dry, fry it in hot oil, put a great sauce on it, and give it really good bread. Just finish it with some nice pickling. Guys, you're gonna make the best chicken sandwiches.